I think we have Mr. Williams here on the Humane Society contract. Did everybody see that contract? It's kind of a ditto of the last contract other than the dollar figure. And the Humane Society has agreed on the $75 charge. Any discussion on it? No, it's all you. You're on.
Okay, I don't have a copy of that, Mayor, and just, just FYI, but that's what we have agreed to. Yeah,
That's it.
I've got a spare.
do we want to talk about the ordinance? Or
Well, that's coming up later in the meeting.
okay, so
Just
that's
right
good.
now.
I don't have anything else to say about that. We've agreed to the $75 and all's good unless anybody has any questions or anything on that. Yeah, exactly the same.
Just have to pass it through your committee, I guess. Okay. Let's see. We've got, we've got Mary Jean Kreger, Johnny Savage, and Brian Herring on that committee. Anybody have input?
Second look through it, that's required.
Basically the same contract that we've had with them except for the dollar amount.
Sweaters.
The date and the dollar amount.
$8.
Thank you.
Previously it was $50, $55, $50.
We discussed this.
Yeah. You want?
Said you might.
And you'll have time to review it because you can't vote on it tonight anyway.
No,
It's
just
just
have to come out of committee, so.
This is committee's decision.
To recommend or not recommend to the council.
Bring it to the council.
Bring it to the council.
Are you recommending it?
Yes. I think it should be to the council.
Just want to clarify for us, so we've looked over this, and I guess this was within the budget that we have allowed.
Yes.
All right. You going to cancel that with that motion? I just
All
want,
right.
I just mess with it.
I like the motion that we bring it to the council.
I'll second it.
Okay, then this will be brought before the council at the next council meeting.
I think we got to vote on it, don't we?
No,
No, we don't, just,
Not necessarily.
we just gotta get it done.
we get it there? No, I
Are
mean,
we
I
done
thought we
yet?
had to vote it out of committee, is what I thought.
Since we all read the committee,
Yeah.
that's it.
All right.
Do you have anything else? That's it. Mr. Magnus, you have anything?
All mine's in new business, so I have nothing. Fine,
Mr. Baldwell?
One thing I have is we need to add a couple of folks and do our yearly housekeeping on people to add to the city employees who also do work for the city on the side. I think we're going to add Linda DeWall and Jim Craig. Other than that, that's all we've got.
Make a motion motion to send this to council.
I'll second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
We'll move it up.
You have anything else? Thank you.
Well,
Ms. Krieger, you have anything?
Not that they let me know about.
I may not want to up.
Got any report on our new fire trucks?
Yes, we sent an email out on Google Docs, I sent it to Jeff. They're coming right along, we're supposed to go down, the 1st of February and do a final inspection on them. And, so, I don't have a date on when they will be to Conway, they're gonna drive them to Conway when they get completely done with them. They'll drive them to Conway, and then they'll do final inspection on there, make sure everything's good there, and then they'll deliver them here, so. The exact date, I do not have that, but I do know we're supposed to fly down,
We'll
look
get a
at them.
police escort to bring you on in from Conway.
I do know we're flying down there on the 1st of February to do an inspection, I do know that. So we're getting closer.
Jim, you want, Chief, you want to talk to them about the brush truck when you?
The brush truck, they had to wait on the chassis to come in, they're just now getting started on it, we did the final, went over the specs this week on them, they're expecting it in March on the brush truck. So.
And what you have planned with the old trucks?
Okay, the old trucks, we're gonna, the two Seagrave, they're 89 and 90 model Seagrave, and the brush truck, we're gonna put a price tag on them for $15,000 a piece for the county departments. If the county departments are interested, I'm gonna take it to the chief's meeting, see if any of them are interested. If we have more than 2 departments interested, we will draw for it and see who gets the trucks. And that way it stays inside the county. If they're not interested, nobody in the county is interested, we go outside.
And then the price goes up.
And the price could go up if we can get more. It may not, I don't know how much we can get for them exactly, but we would advertise around to area, try to help the people.
That's our rural fire department.
Right, I thought, though, that we were valuing those like at $3,500.
$3,500?
The value of them at the end. Yeah, the brush truck?
Oh, no, we're talking about the 2 pump trucks.
No, but what I'm saying is the old brush truck.
The old brush truck, I haven't actually come up, I think if we put, for a local fire department, for the brush truck, it's an 89 model Chevrolet, 1 ton. I think $5,000 would be fine. We can go 3,500. We haven't come up with the price exactly,
Okay.
so it's where we want to come up with the price.
Yeah, not the pumper truck, I'm talking about the brush truck.
You know.
You scared me there.
No.
I'm good with whatever, with whatever, even the brush truck, if we can help out rural department.
Right.
In our area, because I feel like they come in here and spend money, and so we're trying to help out the rural departments around us.
They help buy
They do.
them with the tax and everything, so.
So,
And that money will have to go back into the general fund, because that's where it came out of.
yeah. So
really?
that's,
And as long as it stays in the county,
yes, that's what,
because.
and
all the
I don't know for
citizens
sure,
in that
what we can get, but I'm willing to help out what we can. And the extra equipment, there's gonna be some extra equipment, because these trucks we're getting is pretty much fully equipped. But I don't wanna get rid of all the equipment, because I don't want to, the next year we have a generator blow up, I don't wanna have to go buy one, just because we gave one away or sold one real cheap. So I want enough to back up, so if a rural department needs some extra hose or something, where we'll be willing to sell that to try to help them out also. So, stuff like that. So, any more questions? Thank you.
Virginia, you have anything else? Thank you.
As long as Paul stays good.
Mr. Oldwell, I think we're moving on to you, and I think you have 2 things there, and you're probably just gonna turn them over to
I'm
Wade.
gonna turn them right on.
Okay.
Which one's first?
Oh, the fuel bid.
Okay.
Is that the one we have a copy of on our, is it different than the one that was in the, or are they the same? In our packet?
On the Google Drive,
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
okay, just making sure it wasn't a change.
For those of you that didn't get on the drive to get it, I went ahead and had some copies ready. Traditionally, the way we've purchased our bulk fuel purchases is to request quotes from suppliers on an as-needed basis. Our fuel tanks get down to a certain point, we make an order, we put out a request for bids, we get bids back that day, they deliver the next day. What we've taken a look at is the option to establish an annual contract. That can be difficult to do because fuel prices change quite a bit. So what we've done is we based this off of, the bids are based off of the average rack price at the terminal that the fuel comes from. And what the bidders have submitted is the markup over that average rack price. So that their costs or their markups over that price is fixed throughout the year, and then it's allowed to go up and down with what the market does. We received 4 bids. One bid was determined to be unresponsive. The low bid came from Petroleum Traders Corporation for both gasoline and diesel. The second page of the letter does show what those markups are. For gasoline, it's 20.83 cents per gallon, and the diesel is 7.56 cents per gallon markup over the average rack price at the terminal on the day that they deliver the fuel. The idea to do this is to fix those additional costs on top of the actual cost of the fuel throughout the year. It also simplifies the process for ordering fuel throughout the year. It kind of helps us with a couple of issues that we have pop up every now and then. Sometimes the market's at a point where we put out a request for bids and we get none back because they don't want to give us a price one day and then have to deliver the price the next day. We've had that happen a few times since I've been here. We also, we've had a couple of occasions where they, for whatever reason, through circumstances beyond the contractor's control, were not able to make the delivery on the day that the next day after the bids. And so, with the way the fuel market is, they weren't able to hold their price, and so we're back to requesting bids. Petroleum Trader Corporation, they are based out of Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana. At this time, our recommendation is to go ahead and award the contract to them. Do this annual contract throughout the period of this year, take a look at it at the end of the year and see if we want to continue to go the annual contract route or go back to just requesting bids on an as-needed basis.
I think Wade put in his letter also to you there, the option you have, and that being to accept the low bid or reject all bids. And, his recommendation comes to accept the low bid. That's his recommendation, and he's told you that. So, Ryan, that's what you have.
So,
before
we have a recommendation to accept the bid on the floor. Any seconds?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
You brought the council in. Okay, wait up. Oh, excuse me. Right, that's yours.
Sorry.
Next. For me.
Oh, I'm ready for him to keep going. We've got the ESG meter additions.
Quick update where we stand on the meter system overhaul project. To date, 4,655 meters have been installed. The new billing software has been installed, it's up and running, everything seems to be working fine with it. The issue that we've run into is I guess, we're dealing with multiple databases that have been built over the years for knowing where our meters are, what meters we have that are active or inactive or no longer in existence. Late last year, ESG let us know that based off of the database that they're using and where they stand as far as the installation project goes, we're going to run several meters short. About 330 meters that are going to need to be installed that were not planned as part of the original contract. Now, I don't have definite numbers to give you right now, but I do wanted to update you, let you know where we stand, because once we get everything tied down and get all these databases cross-referenced so we know exactly where we stand, I'm likely to bring a change order unless we don't have the additional meters to install. This is one of the problems that we have had with our billing systems in the past that we're trying to work through and get fixed going forward. But we do have the potential for needing to install an additional 330 meters beyond what we had planned in the original contract. ESG had provided us with a change order, and that was an extensive price for those additional 330. We're not sure that's actually necessary. Luke's been working on going through our databases. We're waiting on a little bit more information from the installers that are putting them in so we can do a little bit more comparison, because right now our numbers don't agree as far as how many meters we say we have and how many meters the database says we have that need to be installed before the project is done.
Obviously we were working with our previous database, and now we're trying to compare it also to the database we have currently, cross-referencing that with what the database that they're saying they have installed. So we're trying to, cross-reference every single one of those, and it's just a lengthy process. We can set them side by side, but then determining which ones are vacant, which ones are, not necessarily.
So that's the problem, not whether or not the meters are not functioning or not reading, it's whether that we need to install more than what we.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Just to, when we had prepared the project and used the reporting from our previous billing system, Waterworks, we ended up with 7,326 active water meter accounts. Based off of the databases that we were able to build from, I guess, the root of Waterworks that ESG and the installers have been working with, looks like we may have 7,780 active, or not active, but water meter accounts out there. We've never seen a number in our billing system or anything that indicates we've got that many meters. When I first got here, talking to Gerald, when he was finance director, it was about 7,200 meters. That's been what we've worked off of for the last several years. It fluctuates up and down, but we're usually in that low 7,000 range. So I didn't want to show up in a couple weeks and just kind of cold turkey throw this on you. I wanted to let you know where we stand right now and let you know that in a couple weeks we may be coming back with these final numbers if we can reach a resolution on it.
And this will be, again, a change order request to our original proposal. And that would not be in our lease agreement that we have done through ANSTAT Bank. So this would be in addition to that.
And why would the cost be significantly more for the past few meters? In other words, they're not giving us the same price as the.
They're giving us the same price, but if you're talking about.
Okay, that's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
it's the same unit price. It's,
Okay.
it's a lot of meters, and some of them are not just your small residential meters. This does include some larger meters out there,
Okay.
which they get significantly more expensive.
I misunderstood you. I thought they were charging us more for these additional,
No, it's just, we
60%
get
more for the,
There'd be additional meters that were not located.
Right.
And I will, as we're able to solidify these numbers, I'll get that information distributed out to the council ahead of the meeting and start letting you know. We don't have the numbers now, but I did want to keep you in the loop as far as where we stand.
And he didn't want to give you a ballpark, so.
I don't want a ballpark.
You don't want a ballpark. We're probably talking in the 200,000 range.
If we do in fact have that many meters out there in the system.
How are you gonna find that out?
Cross-reference databases and send people out looking. You know, I've
I'm
already-
just wondering,
Yeah.
how do you know where we can think about it?
We're trying to just cross-reference everything that has been installed according to their report, which is one thing we're definitely gonna have to cross-reference to what our actual database shows is active meters.
They charge for them if they don't know where
I know.
And that is one thing, that if we find meters that are not in our system, obviously that will help us going forward with recuperating some revenue.
And we're dealing with a database that's been updated and manipulated through multiple billing systems over, I don't know how many years.
I can't remember when that database was put in.
So if things were put in but not actually transferred over to billing softwares, there could be meters out there that, and I don't, most people, if they're not getting a water bill, I don't think they're gonna.
Well, I said in the last meeting, I said if anybody out there's not getting a bill, let us know.
I think we found one or two.
I think we found two.
Two.
Yeah, we've
Two that's
run
been getting free water. We don't know.
we've run across a few others over the last few years as well.
Merry Christmas.
A couple of very creative setups.
Christmas is over.
Yeah.
But this is part of the process to getting our metering system and billing system where it needs to be. We've not been there. It's not where it needs to be, and that's what we're trying to get resolved and fixed.
Wade, let's say you had 7,500 for discussion purposes. How many would you think were in the city, in the actual city?
As far versus where we extend outside the city limits?
Yeah.
Oh, I would say 85% to 90% of our customers are actually within the city
90%.
limits.
So over 6,000, maybe 6,500.
I would imagine, yes.
It might even be more.
Yeah, we extend outside the city limits in several places, but it's not very dense. Probably the most densely populated area outside the city limits would be Southern Hills.
Yeah, I kind of know what they are, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot out there.
Not a lot.
We only have 2 or 3 books that we read in the Southern Hills area and south is one whole book. Everything else is you kind of piecemeal some others that are in and outside, but that's really the main location. We have a few north of Walmart that we extend to.
June.
All right. But we don't need any action.
I don't need any action. I needed to sort of get the information out, see if you guys had questions, what other information
I guess we appreciate the heads up.
you need.
We'll be updating you over the next couple weeks too with what we find whenever we're cross-referencing those databases.
We had hoped to be a little bit closer, but we just can't get the databases to reconcile right now.
I'm ready to pass the torch.
You have no more.
No more business.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to Ms. Dina Taylor.
Well, you have the reorganization resolution you wanted to talk to us about, the municipal league.
Did y'all get your little magazines and everything? The Municipal League magazine? Oh, you kept them all?
Oh, probably, yeah, I didn't put them out today, did I?
Well, anyway, the state passed a new law now that we have to reorganize every year. And that being our committees and anything else to do with the government, I probably should have. Yeah, I probably should give you all a sheet of paper. I thought you had your little thing, but it's not that we have to totally redo everything. We keep everything as it is, but we just have to vote to keep it as it is every year. It used to be, you did it on election years, when you had new council people and new mayors and all that stuff coming in, but now you have to do it every year. So I'll pass that thing out, and we can't vote on tonight. It's more housekeeping. I'm gonna say it's housekeeping, aren't you, Ben? And it'll just be an up and down vote at the next council meeting unless you all, and it's your decision if you wanna change things.
Does anybody want to change their committee groups, chairs, anything?
I don't.
No.
Or Mayor Pro Tem?
That's debatable.
No,
Right.
vote of confidence in this,
Wow.
But anyway, there's no action required on that tonight. There's several things in there. They've changed a few things now that I can, if we don't have enough people here, I can be part of the quorum now. Has it always been that way? I can't remember. I thought I had to have enough here, but maybe you don't.
Chair can be part of the quorum, yes.
And if I'm not here, I can call somebody and tell them to take over.
But we've got to.
No, I'm talking about, it says all this stuff in here, and in case I'm disabled or whatever, you know, if I'm out of pocket or whatever, I can tell somebody else to run the city. And,
That in regards to running the city on a daily
Yes.
basis or running a
Yes.
meeting or running a city council?
yes, running the city.
So what's the need for a mayor pro tem?
Well, Mayor Pro Tem only does the meetings.
Okay. Okay.
Even if you get the big Mary Money, I'd like to speak to you. Right.
Not a snowball's chance to eat.
But it's in that book. It's in, all this information's in that book. And that we'll have to vote on the next meeting. It'll just be an up and down vote, like I say. If y'all don't want to change anything, I'm more than happy with that, so. All right.
We also have, for discussion only the dog ordinance, and since I have been out due to medical reasons, I'd like to table this for further review with Mary. Kind of get with you one-on-one and talk to you about it, make sure I'm clear
Okay,
on everything, if that's okay.
you bet, but I have somebody I'd like to introduce and just bring up one short topic, if I could.
It's your-
Just for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be brief. I didn't know if it had been revised yet. Just food for thought, I want to introduce to you, this is Kay Waters. She has been a member of our board for about a year. She's a local Newton County lady. She has relatives. Her parents and grandparents came from Hasty, but she moved to Kansas City when she was a young girl and then lived all of her adult life in Chicago. She was the national sales manager for Zenith, Philips, and LG Electronics. She has recently retired as the national account manager for Cobra, managing over $25 million of sales a year. Anyway, I tell you all this to let you know that she has just retired and she has agreed to, if the ordinance goes forward, to be everything dog licensing. She would do she would oversee all the data input, she would do all the ordering of the licensings, interact with the veterinarians, interact with the public. She would be in our thrift shop every Monday to serve the public, answer questions. And then also, she would be in charge of the database. She's very skilled in Excel. And the one thing we're kind of grappling with is how we could get a database where, like, the animal control officer could access it either from his smartphone or that. And Kay brought up a very good point. does the city of Harrison have a server, and could we not just use that database, get on that database to
We
put
have a
our
server.
information in?
I don't think so.
I don't know how that would work.
Google will allow that.
But you could do, I mean, you could set up something like on Docs or something
Yeah.
that you could use for that part, but as far as accessing the
Our
city
server, yeah.
But, yeah,
I don't think
the
legislative on it.
If we could do something with Google Drive, like what you all do for those documents, and we can just share that document back and forth, that would be,
So that's kind of what we're thinking, and I just wanted to introduce Kay, because like I say, she did just recently retire, and she is full-time Ozark Humane Society, so she's been working on some grants, and I asked her if she would take on this dog licensing, if y'all decide to go forward with it, because we know that it's going to be a large task, and someone needs to be dedicated just to pay attention to
Oh,
the
did I
minor
mention
details.
that or something?
Yeah,
before?
you did. So if it was to go forward, we feel confident that we can handle it in a professional and well-kept manner,
Well,
so.
you're making me feel better
I'll get
all
with you after
already.
the meeting and we'll set up a time.
Excellent, Dean,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
You have a motion on it. Remember,
No, I moved to table it.
you,
Oh,
that is
that's
a
right.
motion. I should have
Sorry.
cut you all off,
You're
but I
right, you're
didn't.
right.
I'll make a motion to table the dog ordinance.
And I second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. My apologies.
That's all right. It's all right.
And I don't have anything else.
Maybe to reconsider that mayor pro tem
I'm blaming on the drugs I've been on here lately, that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, we'll move on down then. Does anybody else on the council have anything else they want to bring up?
I do want to thank everybody for the prayers and the well wishes while I was gone. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on down to new business. Okay, one being a budget line item in our accounting department. And after we got a few bills in early this month, we looked there and said, whoop, that line item's not there, and we didn't have any place to put that money, or take that money out of, anyway. But I'm gonna let Luke kind of concentrate on this. Line item, you want to, or does Mitch, or you want to?
No, Luke, I've got the information.
You're gonna pass it on, huh?
I'll pass it on. Well, all it is moving $3,000 out of safety and putting it in, splitting it between building maintenance and janitorial supplies. So the net figure at the bottom doesn't change. All we're doing is associating it with different line items. So,
service charges, not safety.
yeah, service charges are
What happened is Luke, being the man he is and works with figures, he had saved $3,000 in one item already this year. He knows he's not gonna spend it. And we actually forgot to build that other line item, and we just moved it over. It's not gonna change any bottom lines or anything, it's just a lateral type move of funds.
So, like I said, it just moves from one line item to two.
Yeah. Do we have to develop that line item though, right?
Right, it's not in the janitorial, it's not in the,
Yeah.
because now with the reallocation, each department gets janitorial,
Yes.
and we just failed to put that in there.
Well, I tried to get him the other day because I had 40-40-20 in that.
Do we need to get security over there?
Yep. And he reminded me that he was the 20, not the 40. But anyway, that'll be, if you want to bring it out of your committee, that'll be fine.
And I'll need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion
I'm
and
still
second.
wondering
Any
about
other
these
discussion?
line items.
All in favor?
Bottom line, nothing changes.
Yep, nothing. Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to council.
Okay. We'll move on down. Luke has some real good news. He's almost through the total year budget. got a few items that had come in, that some of them being credit cards and a few other little bills. But I will pass it on to him since he's the one that's controlling those. Luke, I'll let you speak.
Well, like I said, we're wrapping up the financials for the year. Like you said, the credit cards aren't officially in, and there are some entries that we have to do to zero out inventory, because for some reason legislative audit thinks we need to have a cash and an accrual-based financial statements all at the same time, which is impossible to do, but we're gonna do it. So, once we get those entries in, zero out the inventory, gas inventory, credit cards, everything else, once we get everything in, we are gonna be in the black this year, which is the first time we've ever done that since I've been here. And we don't think it's gonna be too far off from our November numbers, so.
And if you got your Novembers, we were at $144,000 to the positive. So we're estimating we're not gonna drop below that for the year, and maybe just slightly. So from a budget of $89,000, we're gonna be at least 144 positive. We're looking at a
$230,000 swing?
Yeah.
With a $100,000 bill that was thrown at us late in the year?
Yes.
That is outstanding work. That's the best news I've heard out of this organization since January of last year.
It is quite an accomplishment for sure for the city.
Well, you know, some of it, we have had influx of different revenue increases. Our sales tax has been good. Our building permits.
Fewer surprises.
And we've had fewer surprises, yes. But don't say anything, Ben, because the air conditioner might go out tomorrow, or the heater now, heater. But anyway, we've had some.
Or 300 water meters.
Oh, that's true, that's true.
Different fund.
Why did you bring that up again?
That's a different fund.
Yeah, that's a different fund. But anyway.
Still on the line.
Yeah,
Still on the line, but it.
Yeah. Like I say, our building permits are up. And it looks like even going forward this year, they're probably going to be up again. But our property tax was actually low a little bit, was it not? About the same? We thought maybe that might be.
And Mr. Mayor, per your comments several times during these discussions over the year, we need to give the due to many of these city employees who kept those expenses.
Especially department heads, especially.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
yeah,
good job.
big kudos to them. We have anything else on financials?
That's it until we get the December numbers, and Luke's actually very close to getting them completed, but we wanted to make sure that we had everything in before we,
We always seem to have a few straggler invoices, just because it's the year end, it has to be exact. And so we have to make sure anything that we get that has an invoice date before December 31st to be included, so we don't get written up from legislative audit or any other auditor.
But we should have, Luke should have everything before council 2 weeks ago, so we'll have final numbers at council.
Anything else?
That's it.
I have one other thing on there on the closing of an alley. That alley being over by the 911 office. If anybody's driven actually by the 911 office, they got parking lot on the, I guess it'd be the east side of the 911 office. It used to be the old county courthouse. And the county has come to me wanting to close that alley.
County jailhouse.
It is, yeah, the county jailhouse, excuse me. Yeah, that's correct. But anyway, they're wanting to fence that parking lot off because they've had a few little issues over in that parking lot. But we'd just be closing part of the alley, and that being right up, it'd go right up to that fence. There's Dr. Leslie's office, I think, on the east side. And there's a couple, Nature's Wonder, is it Nature's Wonder? Or
It's the old
Nature's Wonder building there, and there's a couple of little houses, I think, in there. But this will have to come through the fire department and make sure that, Clint will have to approve this too. it will be, we closed them before. Ben, how do you say the procedure is?
Well, first of all, we have to notify the adjoining landowners. And in fact, we generally circulate a petition to get their consent. Anticipating no problem there, then we do an advertising in the paper and then move it through this council.
We don't have to do it this month, but I've been approached by the county judge on it and also the 911. Are you following where I'm at?
Yeah, I'm trying to just think where that alley runs. Does it run north and south?
Yes.
Yes.
So it actually runs through the parking lot of the old sheriff's department?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
right there, right to the middle of it.
It's one of those odd situations where it probably should have been closed years ago, but
Well,
Is that land deeded to property owners, or, I mean, the alley, is it city property?
The part that is closing is going to be county property, since it's part of the jail property.
Okay.
But anytime you're closing even half an alley, it does affect the other landowners to the south. If they feel they need access to come on through and go through that parking lot, then they do have a right to object to it.
towards Dr. Leslie's side of it.
We can call a public hearing, or we will have to call a public hearing. But first of all, we'll get the consents.
I'm just throwing that out to you, and that I've been approached by it, we'll work on that, our end of it.
Okay.
It probably won't happen this month, but probably next month.
It's behind Dr. Leslie's office. Right?
Pardon?
Behind Dr. Leslie's office.
Yes.
So we're only going to close the part that actually runs through the sheriff's office. Right.
Yes,
Yes,
We want to put a gate.
roughly about half the block.
about half of it, yeah, close to half.
We want to fence. We want to close this, actually want to close this off. Gotcha. Less than right.
But we'll do the
You got this.
administrative end of it.
This
get
is
it
the
all
mayor
there.
pro tem system here.
You're not gonna live that down, are you? Okay, we'll move on to my comments. Myself, both chiefs, Luke and Wade, are going down Sunday afternoon to Little Rock, where we'll be attending the Martin Luther King Award Ceremony at 6:30 on Monday morning. As everybody knows, the city's getting their Greenmakers Award, which is a great thing for our city. And there's several other people, but everybody's invited. So there's several other people, I think, with the Chamber and FedEx and a few other industries around town that's going down. I do not know what all the industries have done, but once I get all that information, I will thank them personally. I think, I'm not sure, don't write this down, James. Put that pen up. FedEx has helped out a lot on this. I think they're paying for the band to go down, the high school band.
Well,
I'm not sure about that, but
hadn't heard that, but that's awesome.
yeah. But I just want to bring that to your attention. Okay, also in front of you, I put some letters that pertain to inland. They are for your information. Of course, it's already been, James already stole them off of me right when I got them. I don't know how he got them right before I could even read them. Anyway, inland is working closer, I'm gonna say closer with the mayor's office. Because we have had their chief operations officer had called me several times. The service end of it, it seems to be getting better. I say seems to be. We've had fewer calls, so I kind of judge it by that. Our financial end of it, and I'll allude back to our water department even on this. You know, we've been so far behind in our IT systems that all that's been tied, the billing and everything has been tied in that one place. Of course, we're just now got halfway caught up on our IT stuff, and we got more information, so. But Inland is doing an audit at this time, supposedly, is it this time or next week?
They just said in
Yeah.
January.
Okay, sometime in January, and we're supposed to get those figures hopefully by the end of January. And then we'll have to reconcile those figures against our figures. It's gonna be a process. Of course, they keep, it's said in that letter that we owe them $400,000, which, that's a figure that's not realistic. It is something they've come up with, but.
Well, to that point, asking Wade and Luke in regard to this, the city of Harrison has sent everything that we collected. So the issue is not whether or not we're sitting on holding money. It's a situation of whether we're billing what they're servicing.
Yes.
And that's the problem. I don't believe, I don't have a figure from Luke yet, we've talked about it, but I'm confident that the city of Harrison is not going to owe them $400,000. For those of you that have gotten questions, because I have gotten those questions from the citizens of the community. So, if they delivered a dumpster somewhere and we don't know that it's there, that's an issue. And how they're going to collect that, I don't know. So, but the city of Harrison has sent them everything we've collected, and we've collected what we think, what we've been shown to collect.
That's right. But like I say, that's a work in progress. I hope within a couple of months we get that all worked out. So, any other questions on the inlet? Like I say, that information there in front of you. If you got any questions on any of that stuff, you can call Mr. Van Jones. No, you can call my office. You can call my office. Okay, moving on. We have about 150-yard street in town that does not have a name on it. And that street is out by FedEx. And we have Gibson Road and Forward Drive. Forward Drive runs on around to the 65. Gibson runs kind of, I guess you'd say,
Past the Lutheran Church.
That direction. Okay, we have a caution and a red light right there on Gibson Road. If you turn by FedEx, you'd have to stop to cross a road. And I said a road. There's a little portion there from Forward Drive to Gibson Road that does not have a name.
To the back entrance of FedEx.
Yes,
I know right.
it used to be the back entrance.
Drove that one a lot for many days.
Yeah. But anyway, a little incident happened the other day, and we didn't have anything to put on the record what happened there. So, but it has come. I think Wade, somebody from the planning commission came to you and made a suggestion that FedEx may want to do something on this.
Well, we had talked about a couple ideas on names, and look again, basically going into FedEx's back drive. We thought about FedEx Drive. We passed that along to some people at FedEx, mainly because we didn't want to use their name without talking to them, obviously. And the suggestion did come back to name that Sheridan Way.
I don't know if FedEx wants to be involved in some.
I'm not sure they really want to be involved in it at all. It was a
I
suggestion.
assumed that
and
that
it
was
come
part
back.
of Gibson Road, up down through there.
Originally.
Well,
This runs across Gibson Road.
Oh, there, across, oh,
it's the section if you're coming from.
yeah,
From Community First,
Community
right
First,
along
yeah.
that gate of FedEx.
into the
About
back.
150 yards long, all it is.
What do we need to do there, Dan?
Well, that is actually a fire department issue, because they're the one that actually names the roads. But if FedEx wants to be involved in it, and we'll contact them if they want to do some kind of ceremony or something.
We could do a resolution if we wanted to make
Yes.
it formal with city action, and so that wouldn't be any problem for us to build a little resolution and then let you all vote on it. it and get a photo opportunity.
Was that feedback from FedEx on they haven't shared it, what?
I wouldn't say it was officially a FedEx position. It was someone at FedEx that we had sent sent some info to, said, hey, we're thinking about doing this, and it just, why not
You got
take
some
the
feedback
chance?
on it.
Yeah, why not take the chance to
Yeah.
A great idea.
But we'll work that out, see if they want to do anything or not. It'd be
Need street name.
yeah, it's gonna have to have a street name.
Mayor, do you have any idea when that may happen? I have an accident report, but can't finish it because it's and that's how it started.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard nothing about it.
So because of that, we can't get the accident report to the insurance company, so we've been kind of holding off for a while trying to get that name on there.
My recommendation would be Garrison Lane, to honor Sheridan Garrison.
I agree. Like I said, the fire department can name it. I
Yeah,
guess
I'm fine
tomorrow.
with that.
They can name it tomorrow, could they not, man?
Do they need action by us?
No action required. It's administrative being done.
Like, make that happen so they can clear it for a board.
I'm good with it.
Okay. It's not done yet. If you're good with it, it's not done. Okay.
Did you say Sheridan Way or Garrison?
Garrison,
I'd said Sheridan Way,
either one,
Either one works.
yeah.
We don't have any streets.
Yours, that's what I'm just thinking right now.
We don't have shared number Garrison in the city. that I'm aware of.
There is a Sheridan, is there not?
Sheridan Lane, I think it's Sheridan.
No, there's a Sheridan somewhere.
So they can, they'll
Yeah,
research that.
seems like there is a
Yeah.
Sheridan.
But you're easy with either name.
Yeah, either one.
Okay.
Sheridan.
If you get the Garrisons, that picks up Ben and Sheridan both, who were,
That's true.
that's a key piece of putting that baby up on its feet, so.
Okay. And, we'll, whatever the fire department decides, we'll contact FedEx and, get with them on that. We'll keep you all advised on that.
Pretty good.
Okay, last thing I have on here is, this last year, I didn't take a vacation, but this year I'm gonna take a vacation. And that happens to be within the March meeting, the regular meeting, and that being, spring break at the school. I'm just putting out, we don't have to say anything tonight, but we'll have to vote on it next month anyway if you want to change it. I'm just asking you to change that date of that meeting. There might be others of you going too.
I won't be here either. For either one.
Yeah, I know, especially.
I won't be here for either one.
Bill's not gonna be here the whole time.
I won't even be in the continental United States for either one.
But I'm throwing that out there so y'all will know that I will request it at least the February meeting. Okay, has anybody in the audience got anything they want to bring up? Let's go.